Good, we're good. Man. Alright. I was going to do this unboxing yesterday, but I ended up going into town later in the day than I originally thought. So, the Tempest of War cards. And this whole big pile of gits right here. A whole bunch of gloom. We're going to check all that stuff out today. Give it a good look. See what's going on. I'm not super sure it motivated me to be like gits in a day, but here we are. I picked up a shit ton of gits. Maybe I felt good for actually finishing a project last weekend and was like, man, I don't have enough projects started already. I should pay some more. I picked up off somebody, but it doesn't have a lot of this stuff in it. Hello! It's largely like Boingrot Bounders and just like the little Git guys and some HQs. So I wanted to pick up some of the other models, and I figured we're going to start off with the cards and go over, take a look at some hobby, because I've got a bunch of hobby stuff done that I realized I didn't show off. Terrain and stuff that I painted over last weekend. A bunch of Chaos Space Marines, some Battletech stuff. Trying to figure out a color for my Dead Zone stuff. As soon as I get that figured out, we will play it. But, yeah. Alright, now, let's go through these Tempest of War cards. Alright, Giant Gits Army, go away. Alright, so what are these? These are an attempt at more casual war deck that came out at the very beginning of 9th edition. So this deck here, my understanding is if the 4 cards from 8th edition sort of had a baby, right? This is kind of the variant of that stuff. You're gonna get like a twist. Why am I telling you what we're gonna? Let's just open it up. I will say these are unnecessarily expensive. I mean, these cards are like $30, which I think is just too much. But I really wanted a deck. I've been very unhappy with 40k recently, and I'm hoping that, like, that makes any sense. Because they give a more casual kind of fun way to play. So what do we got here? Punch out tokens, it looks like. So each Nissan, 6 tokens, double side. Very nice cardstock. And we have our instructions. Let's look at those first, and then we'll see what we have in the deck. Alright. Oh, lots of instructions. Select battle size and muster armies. A player must select the battle size they wish to play. Incursion or strike force. Each player must then select a battle-forged army. You check that to make sure it's not something going wrong. No, it's not. We're good. It's my friend responding to a meme I sent her. So incursion, 6 command points, 1,000 point limit, up to 2 hours. Blah, 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 blah. Alright. Just a bunch of bullshit about battle forging an army. Selectable faction keyword. Respective decks. Deployment deck, mission rule deck, primary mission deck, secondary mission deck. 1 for each player. So there's 2 of those in there. The player determines their mission by shuffling the deployment deck and mission rule deck and their primary mission deck, randomly drawing 1 card from each deck. The secondary mission deck, there are 2 secondary mission decks with identical cards, meaning players can draw the same missions in the game. Mission cards, blah, 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 blah. At the start of each command phase, the players whose turn it in must determine secondary cards are active for them. To do so, the player randomly draws cards from their secondary mission deck if they have fewer than 3 active secondary mission cards. If they draw from their deck until there are 3 cards, but players' decks run out, they cannot generate any additional secondaries during the battle. Be a long game to run out of them. Each player has access to the new order stratagem, which is included in a separate core stratagem card within this mission pack. Players can use this to discard an active secondary mission and generate a new one. In addition, at the end of their they tell you how they're achieved. Alright, this is setting up the battlefield. This is placing objective markers. Determining attack defender, choosing deployment zone. Reserves and deploy. Begin the battle, ending the battle, determining victor. Okay, so like the roles in here that are different from normal 40k is like one little block. So it's actually not super useful. Alright, so let's take a look at the cards then. So we need to pull them out. I'm assuming these are the secondary objective decks. We'll take a look at those. Assuming these are the main mission. There's breakfast for him in the microwave. And Samada, and it was delicious, but I'm also fat and gross and made out of hair, and that's a bad combo with sugar. So, alright, there's the other one. Okay, there we got one of these. Alright, what are these? These are discard it, generate a new mission. It's pretty cool. Cost 1 command point. That's pretty neat. Alright, we got that. This is probably the deployment deck. Let's take a look at that. Oh, okay. So this is the deployment deck. Now, these are pretty much the standard ones, which is nice, right? This is a cool one. I always like this one. It makes melee really fun. But yeah, that's cool. The primary objective ones. So there's a take and hold one. Guess this is more objective stuff. Okay. Yeah, so all those are super objective focused, which is actually pretty cool. That's nice to see. Playing objectives versus just like kill the other guy is always nice to play the objectives and stuff. And then we have the mission special role. Let's see. No special rules apply. I'm pretty much just going to throw that card away. Player controls an objective marker at the end of the turn. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so you can move off the objectives and you still hold them as long as the enemy... They only get the CP at the start of every turn if they control the... You can't set up within range of an objective marker. So that's kind of cool. You only get your CP, your starting CP, if your Warlord's on the table. The objectives lash out. You have to roll to bring on extra units. That's super cool, actually. Man, reroll shouldn't be a thing. Just it shouldn't be in the game. Shouldn't be in the game at all. Oh, you can just dump all kinds of stuff because the cost for it is have to put things into reserve. Or draw 2 and apply both. That's a cool one. I like that. So yeah, some neat little rolls in there. I especially like the command reroll costs more. And the one about the objectives doing damage to everybody. That one's cool too. So you would pick one of these, right? So we're gonna pick one. We're gonna pick another one. Round. Okay. Let's see. And you get a point for everybody you kill. We're going to have this deployment. And you can't use Insane Bravery, which is the one that lets you bypass morale. Like, this is deck, to be honest. Like, these cards are. They're very similar. They're a little more, like, serious than the Open War deck is. But the neat part... So, if I read those instructions right, you've got 3. Right, like, these are my secondary objectives for the game. This is beacons, investigate a site, and overwhelming firepower. Which is pretty cool. So, those are the 3 I have to do. Now, if I don't think I can do one of these, I can throw it away for 1 CP, and I can draw a new one. Right, now I've got raised banners. Now we play this round, and I try to do these objectives, right? Which is cool, because, like, this means my main, like, my goal in the battle is not so much to, like, nuke the other guy. It's more to do these objectives. 3 setup cards, and the variants applied here, right? Like, you can't build a unit with a ton of little shit. You know? You're going to do this once, and then this card is gone. Right? You're going to get points for it one time with all your little shitheads, and that's what you're going to get. So that's pretty cool. You get 2 of these. So you also get, let's see, Blood and Guts. You get No Prisoners. Grind them down. Assassination. Bring it. Surrender. Secure no man's land. Capture the enemy outpost. Extend battle lines. What is that one? Okay, so this one is you have to control your objective and the... Okay, that's pretty cool. That one's a you at the start of your turn. Okay. And Battlefield Supremacy. Okay, so your enemy picks an objective and you have to control it. If your unit is wholly within deployment zone, hold the line. Alright, so like, first turn, what do I get? Survey says, extend the battle line, secure no man's land, and capture the enemy outpost. Right? So you have there is a nice mix in these of kill the other guy and, like, what is the word I'm looking for here? It's like kill the other guy and like hold the place, right? Like stand on the button, right? There's a nice mix of those, and also like do the action. So that's pretty cool. And you get one of those all These are a more interesting way to play match play, at least in my opinion, because you can't really build an army for it. Like, you have to build a generalist army, for this, which is more fun, right? Like, nothing super specific, because you're just not going to be able to do all of these objectives with a super specific army, which is cool. And so these are definitely more fun than like playing like match play, like from the book, right? Are they as fun as the open war deck? That's the interesting question. I think the idea of the secondary objectives is really neat, and I really want to try that out and see how fun it is, because I really like the open war deck. Honestly, open don't really like the static match play matches. I think that's kind of cool. So I'm definitely looking forward to trying this out. Maybe I'll try to get a game of 40k in, maybe next week or something, and I can give you. So yeah, so that's the. All right, now let's open a shit ton. Give me that caffeine. All right. Oh. Opa. All right, what do we have? We've got the Gabapalooza, which is a bunch. I'm tired of looking at books, so we'll take a little break from that and come back to that later. I've got Start Collecting Box. I've got Squig Hoppers, a Dan Cold Troggoth, and a set of Mangler Squiggs. So we're going to check all these out, open them all out, and see what we got. So let's start with the Start Collecting Box. I think that's a pretty good place to start. We get 3 Rockgut Troggoths, a Loon Boss, and a Squig Herd, which I think is 10 Squigs plus 2 like herders, which is pretty cool. There's a guy with a cute little like mushroom on a stick. That's really cool. This guy's like playing a mushroom. There's a guy with like symbols. So, one of the reasons I was motivated to pick this box up specifically is to kit bash these guys with a bunch of those mushrooms like stuck on them. Like they're all growing all kinds of mushrooms like down in the cave and stuff. I thought it'd be really cool. That the instructions and stuff. Alright, what is this? This is a part of a Squig runner, it looks like to me. Yeah, there's a bunch of Squig legs, there's a Squig butt, more Squig butts. This is like Squig butts the runner. A ton of Squig legs on there and Squig butts. I like that one a lot. Just like giant teeth. That one's really cool. A bunch of Squig faces. Ooh, that one's super cool. With all the little teeth. And here's the one where the guy's like hanging out of the mouth. That one's pretty cool too. There's that mushroom on a stick. Guys we can build. Look at that snail. That's awesome. I like that. That's really cool. Squig runners. Yeah, it is. So it looks like the Squig box is 3 little mini runners. And that's what you get to build your Squigs. Just that. Then we've got our Loon Boss here. And his magical and then he's got this big like moon scythe thing. So that's pretty cool. And he's got a big fancy mushroom base. And then we get into what is majority. I was not a big fan of the Rockgut Troggoths. This is the bases they come on, by the way. This is the base for Troggoth. I really enjoy building him. Going over my models for my Cruel Boys last week really kind of was like, man, yeah, these destruction guys are really cool. Really like got me hyped, I guess. But I was not really sold on these. It's one of the reasons I was not like really pushing getting gits. But then I saw how much customization is in this kit, and there's a ludicrous amount of customization between all the options for the Squigs here. Yeah, we're gonna do it. There's a lot of cool options in here. So Speaking of cool options, you can have a guy holding a piece of like dwarven architecture. There's some feet. There's a butt. Oh, there's 3 butts. Butt. In case you need some rock cut Troggoth butt in your life. Here's another rock. It's like a big crystal and a worm coming out the other side. This is like a stone malt. Looks like they like chipped down and like attached this big bone. It's really cool. And we got is parts of faces. Lots of different parts of faces. Some of the rock cut Troggoth faces I really dislike, and some of them I really, really like. There's one where the rock cut Troggoth that's like holding one of the grots up. So, and then we've got necklaces here. And we got some backs, some more faces, and a couple big arms that don't have any weapons in them. This one is just holding like a rock. Set of sprues for them. We've got this big stone maul, which is really cool because this is like a crystal. It's like got a bunch of dirt on it and stuff. These are going to be really fun to paint with like texture paints and stuff. Like hitting that with texture paint is going to look really cool. Here's like a single hand maul that has some like fossils in it, which is pretty cool. You got him holding like a, I don't know, like a goat or something, I guess, that he caught to eat. And then here's the body for the guy holding up the big rock. One of these is also the parts for the guy where he's like holding up one of the grots. But yeah, super cool. Lots of nice options. Right, yeah. This is our gloomspite git instructions. I like this face where he just strapped a rock to his head like it's armor. I like that one. Alright, let's check it out. For the Squig Herder, we're going to have a couple of options. We're going to get to build what looks like a sound guy, and then music. Cymbals. Or you can build him with a bagpipe. The bagpipe's kind of funny. And then you can build a guy with like some kind of stick, right? It can be like a prodding weapon, or it can be like a treat on a stick. You can see it a little bit better. Just build squig heads. Just build a shit ton of squig heads. And then build a shit ton of squig bodies. And then put them all together. Little mushrooms and snails and stuff. So yeah, so there should be just a ludicrous amount of variation in here, which will be really, really fun. Just like super, super duper fun. Then we got our rock cut Troggoths. It looks like looks like their bottoms all go together the same. So like they're from their their moobs down. There's a bunch of options to build different heads. This pack apparently comes. That's a lot of rock cut Troggoth heads. That means you could buy 3 of these and never have duplicate heads. That's actually really cool. And then we have some options on how to build the different arms. So there's arm holding a guy up, arm holding. There's the one that looks like a piece of slate turned into an axe. What is this one? Oh, this is like a maul being pulled back like that. And then, so you have 4 different variations of these one-handed weapons, and then you have 2 two-handed weapons, which have variations in them. So you can build either like the geode rock with the worm hanging down, or you can build like the it's like a dwarven like piece of like architecture that he's ripped out of the ground. So even super, super cool. So yeah, I was not sold on these kits, on the rock cut Troggoths, really until I saw just the like crazy amount of, it's like an awesome amount of variation in there. Alright. These are some rolls that probably aren't good anymore because that's how DW rolls work. And then we got a painting guide on the back. Don't paint your guys like that because that looks vaguely racist. And let me see. Ah. And then like pink. So yeah. So I'll probably paint each one of these guys different colors. Yeah, I'll probably definitely paint each one of these guys different colors, not have them all be like a standard color. But yeah, that is the gloomspite gits start collecting box. You get 16 models in total, 3 of which are pretty big. And just like arms and weapons and stuff out of this. So if you want a kit bash, definitely a good box for that. If you want to kit bash the monsters. Alright, since we're looking at Troggoths, let's take a look at the dank old Troggoth. So I was on the fence about getting this guy. I feel like he's a little expensive for what he is. Considering he's just like one big boss guy. But I was kind of super curious about getting into this model and see what I could do with it. Right? Because I'm going to do a bunch of kit bashing and stuff on the other Troggoths. They're going to get covered in mushrooms and stuff. And I was like, this guy would be... I also kind of really liked the one that's like grabbing the bug there. I thought that was cool. Also, spoiler alert for when we go through the war cry rolls, this guy can be used as a bow. We can... Looks like we got this big bug here. There's that big weird head. He has the weirdest fucking nose. Or weird. That one's a little cooler. But again, his nose is like in the middle of his fucking forehead. Super, super strange. A weird design. And then we have, wow. That's weird, but sure. And there's the big double-handed mace. There's his belly. Kind of necklace. Feet. There's his junk. Another necklace, which is like a cannon. And what looks like another head? Is there 3 heads? That's what it looks like. I was kind of hoping there was another individual arm that wasn't this like stalagmite maze with the spider on it. I was kind of hoping there was another option there. Maybe we ought to do something cool with kit bashing for that. Alright, so we build him. We build the body. And then the left arm. Then we finish the chest. Like a mouth closed. And then it looks like he has some ear options, including one that's growing a mushroom. That's really cool. And here's the different option for the chest, which is like a bunch of stalagmites. It's kind of cool. So it looks like this part of the body is the same in both of them. So the legs, the feet, the like part of the chest and the left arm is the same between the two. Upper chest portion, which is like moobs and like hunchback, and that's going to determine which way he's looking, left or right, and it has different details on it. And then so like following this, in theory, you could build like squished bug. I do like the squished centipede. I think that's a cool. I think that's just a cool piece. Model wise. Yeah. And then he's holding the spider up, looking at it, being like, "I'm gonna eat you." I do wish there was another option for this hand, though, in case you didn't want... Club is just a little boring, so I was kind of hoping. But, so at least we have 3 head options, and then 2 pose options that you could remix if you want. Oh man, I hope this rule is still, I hope this rule is still in the game because it's really cool. Start of the combat phase, roll 1 for each enemy unit within 3. If the roll is equal to or greater than the number of models that enemy unit, the unit suffers 1 mortal wound. I don't care about the damage in it, but just the concept of that is cool. That like this guy has like a whole like herd of weird like cave monsters. That's really cool. Definitely a neat model. I don't know which one I'm going to build or what kind of kit bash I'm going to do on it. I kind of want to build this one, but I want to figure out a different option for this hand. So maybe we'll, I don't know, maybe we'll use this hand here to make like a different club or something. Is this a 60 or an 80? So he's going to be pretty big, right? He's going to be that plus, you know, whatever else is on his back. So, you know. Sadly, that Meyerberg Troggoth comes with no options, which is a real shame. No, the rider. Let's look at one more, and then we'll get into. We'll look at the Warcry book after that. Let's look at. I want to look at the Gobapalooza. All like special, like characters essentially, and they add unique effects. And I think work in Warcry. Because yes, they are in Warcry, which is amazing. And I love this guy who's like clearly taking a bite of that mushroom and is just having like a fucking terrible trip. It's really cool. So you got these two, they're like riding a mushroom and having a really bad trip. And this guy has like a bunch of like zombie snotlings with him. And like a staff with mushrooms that are like shooting out spores. And this grumpy, like, fat grot is the one making food. Fat grot, that's me. Alright. Oh, guess there's only one runner. Okay. 32 bases. And one runner. Well, I guess they don't really have a lot of options, so that makes sense. And they're all kind of small. Staff is awesome. That's really cool. Who has this weapon? What is that? No, I don't recognize that at all. Maybe it's for the Brugit? I don't know. It's a weird piece. I don't recognize it from the box. There's part of the Brugit. There's part of the Brugit. There's the scare guy. There's the staff. Oh, maybe this is the staff for the Boggle Eye, the guy with the big mushroom staff. Because there's the stinger staff for the other guy. No, there's the mushroom staff. Yeah, I don't know who that piece is for. That's interesting. We'll figure it out. That is so good. It's so good. There, guy. Oh, I guess the okay, so this is like a stick on the back that goes up and around. And he has the, like, the cooking thing on his head. Like, the coals on his head. Because of fucking course he does. That's really cool. Yeah, that's a really cool design. I like that a lot. And here's the big star of the show, the guy. And you get a bunch of little mushrooms put on the bases. Which is super cool. Nice. Yeah, that's really cool. So a nice, simple little box of guys, but some great stuff in there. Really cool getting toasted on mushrooms and then going on battles thing. I think is really funny. So, you know, these guys are all kind of trying to like lean into different like different aspects of like the gloomspite gits, and I like that, right? Because there's like the guy obsessed with spiders, there's the guys obsessed with squigs, right? And then you've got like the guys obsessed with different kinds of mushrooms. So it's pretty cool, nice. So, all right, let's check out that Warcry book, and then we will get into Squigapalooza after that. This is the Cry Harbingers of Destruction. This came out a while ago. Normally I wouldn't buy a book this late into their life, but this is like, and I wanted the rules for the gloomspite gits and stuff. So here's some stuff on monsters and thralls. And this is where we're going to find our, there they are. And then you're going to have the Dankol Troggoth there. It's the dude we showed off earlier. He's pretty sweet. And then the quote-unquote destruction thralls. So I'm pretty sure you can take these in any game. You add it to your warband. You can under. So you can take some Troggoths. It's a cool picture. It's a fungoid cave shaman, scuttle boss, a web spinner shaman, a spider rider boss, a moon clan boss, a squig, magic spore mauls. Roll a dice for each visible fighter within 3 inches of the fighter. On a 3-4, allocate 1 damage to each fighter being rolled for. On a 5-6, allocate a number of damage equal to the fighter being rolled for to the value of this ability. And then we got... Alright, then we have... Alright, no. A Squig Herder. Squig Hoppa and a Boundgrot Palooza, which is all those guys we just looked at, and that includes the Boggle-Eye, the Scaremonger, the Shrewmancer, the Brewgit, and the Spiker, and you can just add them. Now we got some Ogres. You take all kinds of cool stuff in there. Sadly, a lot of these are really old models. It might actually be made out of like fine casts and metal, which is really lame. Because I really like the Ogres. I like all the destruction stuff. I really do. Then you got some more of those. The nice addition that was not in the list when the Ogres first came out. So it's really nice to see that added, so they can now have their big saber-toothed kitty cats with them, which is really cool. We got some Orc War Clans. This is all the Bone Splitters guys. Really not a fan of the Bone Splitters models. Like the Bone Splitters model, ready to fight. They're all like, and like even here you can see it, right? There's only one guy that looks like he's ready to fight, and that's that guy. Everybody else is like, it looks really stupid when you put a whole army together. To the Orange Owls, who are awesome. I love the Orange Owls. They were definitely an army I'd like to make. We got the war, really cool. So you have the rules for the guys on the big armored pigs, and you even have the rules for the mega boss here, who's the like really big, cool, fancy guy. And then pretty much every model in there in the army, short of. And then this is just make some of your guy tables. Right? You can roll some guys. It's a really coolly painted spider. Mara. And then the campaigns. So you don't get a ton of rolls in this, which is why it's a little bit cheaper than all the other rule books. But yeah, it's super cool. You have a lot of nice options for all the factions in here. take a lot of the stuff from the R armies. Almost everything, which is really, really cool. So the second-hand army I have for my friend is almost entirely Blingrot Bounders. I wanted to pick up at least one box of these. Kind of so like I could build them myself and get like a feel to like build a set myself, you know? So that's why I picked these up. You should get 10 of them, right? 1, 2. Alright. Looks like we've got 2 sets of duplicate sprues. Okay. They go on 32s. That's their instructions. Alright, so it looks like we got 2 of this sprue. This is all the squig butts. A bunch of squig leg. Like mushroom or something they're like jumping off of. Which is really cool because it gives them like height over the other squig models. However you want. Looks like you don't have to follow the instructions there. They look like they all universally attach. But inside we have our riders. So we've got different weapons here, including the spears or the stabbers. A really cool hook moon thing. And all the different spears. I like that one that's clearly been broken. They've just nailed it back together. And then you got all the different squig heads. There's a lot of look at that one with those cool tusks. That's gonna be a cool one. Yeah, that's cool. And you got the backs of the heads here as well. So yeah, that's really boss. So you get 2 of those and 2 of these, making your 10 squigs. Let's check out their instructions. So step 1, make all the squig butts. Step 2, make all the squig heads. So it looks like you've got 10 mouths and then a bunch of different faces you can make. I really like that one with the big teeth. This one here is cool too, where his mouth is shut. Oh, look at that one. It's got like one eye. That's really cool. Okay, I think I know why that is. Thank you for letting me know, though. I will definitely fix that for next time. That is my 3D printer running. And I think I disconnected my direct Wi-Fi, my direct internet line for that. So, yeah. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you. I was supposed to fix that before I went live, but I just didn't think about it. So yeah, they're super cool. It looks like any body can take any head. Basically, any rider and any body can go together. So all your riders and all your heads are going to be different across the 10 guys. Nice. So yeah, nice and simple. I have just the guys with the spears, but we'll see. We'll see. Then we'll open up our last thing. This is the Mangler Squiggs. So this is like 2 really big out of control squigs that they essentially so I used it for some kit bashing. So I wanted one for my army because it's a really cool model with a lot of personality. 5 or 6 seconds of pauses. Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you for letting me know. Yeah, that's just me screwing up. I'll fix that for next. And I've only got one thing left to open, so it's probably a better call just to finish it up, and then I'll make sure it's running for next time. So, gonna be lots of cool details here. There's a guy with a pot on his head. It's really cool. There's a bunch of different squig faces we're gonna get. So they can have little metal squig masks, or they can be like totally wild like this one. I do like the nose ring a lot. It's a lot of cool options. Like this guy's got a, I don't know, a piece of dwarf architecture. There's a sad mushroom. It's a guy carrying a mushroom. Cool stuff. Wow. Oh, it looks like how they connect is actually different too. Because one's facing one way, one's facing the other. That's cool. I didn't realize that. Yeah, that's super cool. I like this guy with the thing in his teeth. That's awesome. That's really cool. Oh, wow. It's only one sprue? There's a big base for you. There's a really big base. Did not know this was only one sprue. I mean, it's a big sprue. Don't get me wrong. It's like a night-sized sprue. Man, I thought it would be at least 2. Alright, so a bunch of chain. There's a big tongue. Let me get my grabber. A bunch of enjoying the content. Thank you very much. I was dumb and forgot to swap it over. Ironically, I was 3D printing mushrooms. And we'll take a quick look at this. Got some chains. We got one of the big murder berries. We got another big murder berry. All kinds of cool options in there. There's gonna be a lot of nice leftover bits here if you look at all the different faces and stuff, and like the masks and all. Like there's a mask. Yeah, it's gonna be really cool. Okay. Alright, there. And then he can get different faces. So you can get an armored face or an unarmored face. Yeah, it looks like he can have an armored face or an unarmored face. So it looks like the variation for him. And then you put a rider on him. Or really just like just the one by himself on the base like that. That's really cool. And then the second guy, chains go around. It's the Mangler Squiggs. They divide. Alright. Let's see. This is the chain, and then like different grots go on it. But besides that, it looks pretty much the same. Yeah. So there's going to be a little bit of options. I'm very not sure which one I'm going to build yet. But we'll see. I do kind of like the ones without the masks. I'll have to see what the other one... Okay. Let's take a look at those 3D printed mushrooms, and then we'll call it, because we're having technical issues. I have a thing of toilet paper here for when there's resin drips. But these are the same models. They're just smaller. Models, but they're smaller. The ones on the printer right now are 200 times this size. So I got these from my mini factory for free. These are free models. And they're just all kinds of weird little mushrooms. Because that's the kind of giant loser dork I am. Deprecating language for myself, but mental health is a thing. So yeah, so there's a bunch of those. Here's a bunch without the dots. Alright, so the detail, like kind of short and fat. And then there's some that are... These ones are really neat, because if you see the way these ones attach, they attach on the side, so they'll be really good for like gluing on the grot backs and stuff. Oh my god, I love them. I wish I could 3D print mushrooms. Yeah, honestly, the 3D printer, everyone's like, oh, I'm just going to 3D print on my armies. The real power to this 3D printer is printing stuff like this. Like stuff that like they don't make and they don't sell, right? And I printed them in a couple different sizes. So there's like 100% size, there's 125% size here, and then there's like a loose one that came off. And then there's 75% size. Right? So, yeah, they're just probably really too small to use. But I'll probably end up using a few of them. They're just not going to be as cool as I thought they were. These ones at 75% are a little more usable, just because they're bigger mushrooms. So terrain. I just kind of manhandle the terrain. Yeah, so like here's a 100%, and then a 125%, and then I have a 200% mushroom on the printer right now. Actually, I'll tell you what. Give me 1 second. Ah. Oh yeah, mushrooms would be awesome on Nurgle bases. They would be so cool on Nurgle bases. Oh. When I do, because I intend to do a Nurgle, like Mortals army at some point. When I do that, when I do my trees, they're basically, I'm going to 3D print myself a bunch of really giant mushrooms, and have those be the trees. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Is that a? But you can see they're considerably bigger. Like, more off the printer later. Ugh. But yeah, so that's my gloomspite git stuff I picked up. I'll probably start building it here in the next couple of days. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna call it there. Yeah, it just the 75% ones, they're so small they're gonna be hard to work with. So that's a little bit of a pisser. But the really big ones, they're just gonna be phenomenal to work with. So, and the 100 and 125% ones are also gonna be really good. So, well, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna call it there. Thank you guys for watching me unbox a bunch of gits, and I stream every day. Every Sunday, 10 a.m. Hawaiian Standard Time. I'm here. And then whenever else I get a chance to. But thank you guys for watching. I'll go ahead and I'll call it there. And keep on keeping on.